The hip-hop world froze the moment the footage hit the internet. DJ Akademiks, one of the loudest voices in rap media, caught on camera getting beaten by men allegedly connected to Lil Baby's circle. No rumors. No blurry clips. Clear video. Clear chaos. And instantly, one question took over the culture: was Lil Baby involved, or did this spiral out of control? For days, silence. Fans waited. Critics speculated. Academics talked. Blogs exploded. Every move Lil Baby made was dissected, every post, every like, every absence. Then finally, the moment everyone was waiting for happened. Lil Baby broke his silence with a cold, calculated message that shocked both fans and haters alike. That wasn't me. But here's where things get dangerous. Because in hip-hop, separating yourself from your affiliates isn't always that simple. When your name carries weight, your silence speaks, and your words can either save you or pull you deeper into the fire. Akademiks didn't back down. Industry insiders started whispering about police involvement, label pressure, and possible legal fallout. Suddenly, this wasn't just internet drama anymore. This was real-life consequences unfolding in real time. Was Lil Baby telling the truth? Was this damage control to protect his career? Or did things move faster than he could control? One thing is certain, this incident exposed a side of hip-hop most artists try to keep hidden, where loyalty, ego, and power collide. And as this story continues to unfold, the fallout could change relationships, careers, and the balance of power in rap media forever. Stay locked in, because this is far from over. Stay locked in, because this is far from over. As the dust settled from Lil Baby's shocking statement, the hip-hop world didn't calm down. It got louder. Instead of answers, his words created more questions, and instead of closure, the culture split straight down the middle. On one side, fans defended him, saying he did the right thing by distancing himself. On the other hand, critics accused him of playing innocent while chaos unfolded in his name. Because here's the uncomfortable truth: in hip-hop, silence is strategy, and statements are never accidental. The video of DJ Akademiks being assaulted didn't just go viral, it changed the tone of the conversation overnight. Akademiks isn't just a blogger, he's a power player. A man who's built his career on speaking recklessly about street politics while staying physically far from them. That's why seeing him vulnerable on camera sent shockwaves through the industry. For some, it was karma. For others, it was a line crossed that never should have been touched. Almost immediately, fingers pointed toward Lil Baby's camp. Not because Lil Baby was seen there, he wasn't. Not because he ordered anything, no proof of that either. But because of association. In hip-hop, your circle is your reputation. And when people close to you move recklessly, your name gets dragged into it whether you like it or not. Insiders began saying this situation blindsided Lil Baby completely. According to sources, he wasn't expecting the footage to surface, and definitely wasn't expecting how fast it would explode. Behind the scenes, panic allegedly set in. Phones were ringing. Managers were calling emergency meetings. Label executives reportedly demanded clarity, not for the blogs, but for legal protection. Because once violence is caught on camera and names start being attached, things can go left very fast. Even if you're innocent, perception alone can cost millions. That's why Lil Baby's statement mattered so much. That wasn't me. Short, cold, carefully worded. He didn't apologize. He didn't explain. He didn't condemn Akademiks or defend him. He simply separated himself. To some fans, that was smart. To others, it felt calculated, almost too clean. And Akademiks? He wasn't buying it. Akademiks took to his platforms with a completely different energy. Instead of backing down, he doubled down. He made it clear he felt threatened, disrespected, and targeted. While stopping short of directly accusing Lil Baby, his tone made one thing obvious: he believed the situation wasn't random. That's when the narrative shifted. What started as a viral fight clip turned into a larger conversation about accountability in hip-hop. About artists benefiting from street credibility while pretending they have no connection to the streets. Akademiks began framing himself as a victim of a culture that selectively chooses when violence is acceptable. And that message hit harder than people expected. Industry insiders quietly admitted that this situation was becoming uncomfortable. Not because Akademiks was right, but because law enforcement doesn't care about hip-hop rules. Cameras, witnesses, and digital footprints don't disappear. And when bloggers start talking about police reports and legal options, the fun and games end. Meanwhile, Lil Baby stayed quiet again. No follow-up posts. No interviews. No emotional explanations. Just silence. And in that silence, speculation ran wild. Some claimed Lil Baby was furious at his affiliates for putting him in this position. Others said he was trying to de-escalate before things spiraled into something permanent. A few even suggested this was a wake-up call, proof that street ties can become liabilities once superstardom reaches a certain level. But not everyone was sympathetic. Critics argued that Lil Baby couldn't enjoy the benefits of being associated with street energy and then act surprised when things turned violent. They questioned whether "that wasn't me" was enough when his brand had long been connected to authenticity, loyalty, and real-life consequences. And that's where this story gets deeper. Because this isn't just about Lil Baby or Akademiks. This is about power. About how influence works in modern hip-hop. About how online voices can provoke real-world reactions and then hide behind platforms when things go wrong. Akademiks has built an empire off commentary. But commentary has consequences. And this incident forced the culture to confront a hard question: should words ever be met with fists? For some, the answer was obvious. For others, the line was blurry. As days passed, whispers of behind-the-scenes negotiations surfaced. Alleged attempts to calm tensions. Middlemen stepping in. Quiet messages exchanged to prevent further escalation. Because everyone involved understood one thing: another incident could destroy careers, not just reputations. Still, the damage was already done. Lil Baby's name was trending for the wrong reasons. Akademiks looked shaken but defiant. And fans were no longer just watching, they were choosing sides. And this was only part one. Because the next phase of this story isn't about the video, or the statement, or even the fight. It's about consequences. Legal. Financial. Industry-wide. And once those start unfolding, there's no deleting clips and no taking words back. And once consequences start unfolding, there's no deleting clips and no taking words back. As the conversation shifted from shock to scrutiny, the industry's tone changed almost overnight. This was no longer just a trending topic for blogs and timelines. This was a risk assessment. Labels, promoters, and business partners don't wait for court documents. They react to perception. And right now, perception was volatile. Behind closed doors, Lil Baby's team reportedly went into full damage control mode. This wasn't about winning an argument online. It was about preventing a chain reaction. Insurance clauses, tour security, brand partnerships, festival appearances. Every deal tied to a superstar artist includes language about conduct and association. And when violence enters the picture, even indirectly, those clauses suddenly matter a lot. Sources close to the situation claim label executives were less concerned about Akademiks personally and more focused on what happens next. Would there be retaliation? Would Akademiks press the issue legally? Would law enforcement step in because of the video evidence circulating everywhere? That's when the word no one wanted to hear entered the chat: liability. Akademiks, meanwhile, weren't backing off. If anything, he leaned into the moment. He addressed the incident repeatedly, emphasizing that it happened on camera, in public, with witnesses. He made it clear that this wasn't just internet beef gone wrong, it was a physical incident with real consequences. And while he avoided outright naming Lil Baby as responsible, he kept circling the same point: energy travels downhill. In other words, when powerful artists allow tension to build unchecked, the people around them sometimes act on it. That framing hit a nerve. Because it forced a conversation hip-hop has avoided for years: the blurred line between authenticity and accountability. Artists often benefit from street credibility without being physically present for street consequences. But when something goes wrong, that separation suddenly becomes very visible and very controversial. Lil Baby's silence during this phase wasn't accidental. Industry insiders say he was advised to say nothing unless absolutely necessary. No interviews. No Instagram Live. No emotional explanations that could be misinterpreted or weaponized later. In situations like this, every word is a potential exhibit. Still, silence has a cost. Fans began reading into everything. Old lyrics resurfaced. Past interviews were clipped and reposted. Any mention of loyalty, retaliation, or street ties was suddenly reframed through this incident. What once sounded like confidence now sounded like foreshadowing to critics. And Akademiks knew exactly how to apply pressure. He didn't threaten. He didn't escalate physically. Instead, he leaned into his strongest weapon, narrative control. By repeatedly framing the situation as a cautionary tale, he put Lil Baby's camp in a defensive position without ever forcing a direct confrontation. That's when whispers of legal consultation began circulating. Not lawsuits, at least not publicly, but conversations, options, boundaries. Because when someone with a massive platform starts talking about fear, safety, and responsibility, the industry listens. Not out of loyalty, but out of self-preservation. Promoters reportedly asked for increased security. Venues quietly reviewed protocols. Insurance providers took notes. All of it happened quietly, but it happened fast. This is how consequences move in real life, not loudly, but relentlessly. Inside Lil Baby's circle, tensions allegedly rose. Some blamed reckless behavior. Others blamed Akademiks for provoking situations he could never physically handle himself. And some questioned whether the culture itself had reached a breaking point where online disrespect was finally colliding with real-world reactions. But here's the uncomfortable reality no one wanted to say out loud. Nobody wins when cameras catch violence. Not the artist. Not the affiliates. Not the media personalities. The moment the footage went public, control was gone. Akademiks became a symbol, to some, of talking too wild, to others, of crossing a line that should never be crossed. Lil Baby became a case study of how fame amplifies responsibility, whether you ask for it or not. And the streets? They became spectators. Because once police reports, lawyers, and corporate risk managers enter the picture, street rules don't apply anymore. Silence becomes policy. Distance becomes strategy. And loyalty becomes complicated. As days passed, no further incidents occurred, a sign that cooler heads were stepping in. Middlemen reportedly worked behind the scenes to lower temperatures. Quiet messages replaced public statements. Everyone involved understood that another spark could turn a bad situation into a permanent one. But the damage to the culture was already visible. Fans started asking harder questions. Why does hip-hop still flirt with violence while mourning its consequences? Why are media figures rewarded for provocation and artists punished for association? And at what point does entertainment stop being entertainment? Lil Baby's brand, once built on momentum and relatability, now carried an extra layer of scrutiny. Akademiks, once dismissed as just a blogger, reminded everyone how powerful a platform can be when it shapes the narrative. And that's the real twist in the story. This wasn't a physical battle. It was a power struggle. Power over perception. Power over influence. Power over who gets blamed and who walks away clean. As the smoke cleared, one truth became impossible to ignore. Hip-hop is evolving faster than its rules. Cameras are everywhere. Platforms are permanent. And reactions that once stayed local now travel globally in seconds. This incident didn't end careers, but it exposed how fragile they can be. And as both sides regrouped, one question hung in the air unanswered. When the next chapter comes, will it be a resolution or escalation? Because in a culture built on pride, silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it just means the calm before the final fallout. Sometimes it just means the calm before the final fallout. And that fallout didn't arrive with sirens or headlines. It arrived quietly, the way real consequences usually do. No public arrests. No explosive lawsuits. Just subtle shifts that only insiders recognized at first. Meetings postponed. Phone calls unanswered. Opportunities suddenly reconsidered. In the music industry, silence isn't peace, it's evaluation. For Lil Baby, the situation forced a reckoning. Not a public one, but a personal and professional one. Superstardom comes with layers of protection, but it also comes with exposure. Every person around you becomes part of your brand, whether they're on payroll or not. And after the Akademiks incident, it became clear that distance wasn't enough. Structure was required. Sources claimed Lil Baby began tightening his circle. Less access, fewer familiar faces, more professionals, more protocol. This wasn't about abandoning loyalty, it was about survival. At a certain level, loyalty without boundaries becomes a liability. Meanwhile, Akademiks quietly changed too. Despite his loud online presence, there was a noticeable shift in tone. Less reckless baiting, more emphasis on commentary over confrontation. He still spoke his mind, that never changed, but the edge was different. Calculated. Aware. Almost as if the incident reminded him that the line between content and consequence is thinner than it looks on a screen. And the culture noticed. Fans who once cheered escalation began calling for restraint. Not out of morality, but exhaustion. Hip-hop had seen this movie too many times. A viral moment. A misunderstanding. A chain reaction. And then regret. This time, people wanted the story to end without tragedy. Behind the scenes, industry power players made their own adjustments. Promoters demanded clearer security plans. Brands quietly updated contracts. Clauses about association and conduct became less flexible. The Akademiks incident didn't change the rules, it reminded everyone they already existed. And that's the part most fans never see. You don't lose deals loudly. You don't get dropped on camera. You simply stop getting calls. Lil Baby didn't fall off, but the margin for error shrank. Every move mattered more. Every connection was scrutinized. And while his fan base remained strong, the industry's tolerance for chaos around him dropped to nearly zero. As for Akademiks, the incident cemented something he'd long argued: media figures aren't untouchable. Platforms create power, but power invites reaction. Whether people agreed with him or not, the message was clear: words carry weight, especially when millions are listening. Ironically, both men walked away changed, but not destroyed. And that's what makes this story different. There was no dramatic ending, no winner crowned, no villain officially named. Just lessons learned the hard way. Hip-hop didn't explode, it adjusted. But the ripple effects went deeper. Young artists watched closely. They saw how fast association can turn into accusation. They saw how quickly silence becomes strategy. And they understood something veterans had learned years ago. Once you reach a certain level, the streets don't protect you, they test you. This incident also exposed a contradiction the culture has struggled with for decades. Hip-hop celebrates authenticity, but punishes accountability. It rewards provocation, but condemns reaction. And when those two forces collide, someone always pays the price. This time, everyone paid a little. Akademiks lost the illusion of distance. Lil Baby lost the comfort of plausible separation. And the culture lost another piece of innocence about how entertainment and reality intertwine. Yet, there was growth in that loss. No retaliations followed. No further violence. No escalation. In a genre where pride often fuels destruction, restraint became the quiet victory. The situation de-escalated not because it had to, but because people chose not to let it spiral. And that choice mattered. Because history shows us what happens when egos win. When messages get ignored. When warnings go unheeded. This time, the story stopped before becoming a headline no one wanted to read. Still, the memory lingers. Every time Akademiks speaks sharply, people listen differently now. Every time Lil Baby mentions loyalty, fans hear it with context. Nothing was erased. Everything was reframed. And maybe that's the real ending here. Not justice. Not revenge. But awareness. Hip-hop didn't change overnight, but it flinched. And sometimes, a flinch is the first step toward evolution. Because the next time cameras are rolling, the next time words fly too far, the next time energy builds without control, everyone involved will remember this moment. Not for the fight. Not for the footage. But but for the silence that followed and what it almost became. And now, the question is yours. Was Lil Baby truly separating himself from chaos he couldn't control, or was this a perfectly timed move to protect a billion-dollar career? Did Akademiks push the culture too far with his words, or did the response prove exactly the point he's been making all along? Because in hip-hop, nothing happens in isolation. Every move sends a message. Every silence means something. And every viral moment leaves a mark that doesn't fade easily. This story isn't just about one incident caught on camera, it's about where the culture is headed next. Are we finally learning that online energy has real-world consequences? Or are we just one post, one comment, one clip away from the next explosion? That's where you come in. Drop your thoughts in the comments, no filters, no cap. Do you think Lil Baby handled this the right way? Should Akademiks take responsibility for the energy he creates? Or is the culture itself setting everyone up for failure? If you're rocking with real, uncut hip-hop stories that go deeper than the headlines, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next story is always closer than it seems. We don't chase rumors. We break down consequences. And we tell the stories after the cameras stop rolling. Stay locked in. Stay sharp. Because in hip-hop, the real drama doesn't end when the video cuts. It begins when the silence starts. See you in the next one.